right, welcome everybody. This is episode 191. Uh, I was getting yelled at for not saying what episode we were on, so now I have to announce it like we were doing back in the day. As in by I say people yelled at me. Derek said I did 188 three times. Um, so there's can only be one episode 188. But we were joined by Luke from Pocket Brush Golf. I was scrolling one night, just gummy deep starting to kick in and I'm scrolling through the reels and then I see the Pocket Brush 2.0 and I'm like, that thing is sweet. And then I saw the price of it and I'm like, okay, we got to talk about it. I love little gadgets as everybody in golf does. Um, and I feel like the one thing neglected is the brush. Um, I know when I started playing, I didn't have a brush. I would just kind of wipe it off with like a towel or I would just dip it in like a pond or
Mm,
whatever was like around me, right? I was one of those people. Um, and then I discovered how powerful a golf brush can be, whether it's on your bag or you just keep it at home. Um, so I'm excited to talk about it because the price point's great. And then I saw that you guys have a towel with the brush built into it. And let me tell you, when that gummy hit me, it like made my brain explode because I've never seen such a thing. But Luke, welcome to the pod. Excited to have you. Um,
cool.
this is
Appreciate
just kind of a taste of my personality. I'm all over the place. Normally Derek's here, and then normally he like is the one to like calm me down. He's not here. So
it.
we get full blown Dom, but um, can you kind of tell me the inspiration or the idea behind the pocket brush? Because, like I said, I don't see too many like brush companies. It's normally like a Callaway brush or a TaylorMade. You know what I mean? It's like a club branded brush, other than a couple of them, and I've got one of them next to me. But I want to talk about yours first.
Yeah, I love that you said that brushes were neglected or you feel like they've been neglected because I felt the same way when I started it too. It's like there's like one brush that everybody has. It's attached to your golf bag. It's like big and bulky. It comes in one color. It's black. Like there's nothing exciting about a brush. It's just and I just saw a lot of problems with that. Like so I played golf my whole life. I play competitively. I'm a professional now. I coach golf to young juniors, competitive juniors, and I still play competitively as much as I can. I love competing in golf. My goal, obviously, I want to try and play a PGA Tour event one day. That's my ultimate goal. Um, and I, a few years back, I took a year off coaching. I had a really stable income job coaching at a local country club, and I decided, let's give it a shot. Let's go and put every effort into competing and playing full time, and let's see how far we can get. I sold my house, I sold a lot of my stuff to try and fund a trip. I went down to Scottsdale and I lived down there for a while. I bought a travel trailer and a truck. I lived out of my travel trailer and I just played golf every single day, worked on my game. I already felt like I was at a level where I could like compete with some good players. One of my first tournaments that I played, it was a Corn Ferry Tour Monday qualifier in Las Vegas, was with Sahith Tagala. So I like played with some good players on my journey. Um, One of the things that I learned while I was down there was how deliberate and serious you need to be about practice. So a lot of people, and I think a lot of amateurs look at practice as just like, let's go hit some balls, let's go hit some putts. I was a lot more structured and organized in my practice, and I felt like that was going to help take me to a higher level. And so one of the things that I did was when um, I would always I saw this video with Dustin Johnson where he was talking about like I would never hit a golf club or I would never hit a golf shot in a tournament with a dirty club face. Why would I ever do it in practice? And that just like clicked for me. I'm like, why would you ever do it in practice? Your brain is learning from every single shot that you're hitting in practice. Why would I teach my brain something else in practice that then when I try and bring to the course, it's going to feel different? It's not going to feel like it did in practice because that's not how I practice it. So, like, everything that I did in practice was very structured and very organized, all the way down to every single shot I hit in practice was with a clean club face. So one of the first things that I did was when I was practicing, I detached the brush that was on my golf bag and I stuck it in my back pocket. So whenever I was working on my wedge game, that's probably where I spent 80% of my time because I always felt like I was a good ball striker and a good putter, but my chipping and wedge game needed some serious work. So I would practice hitting wedge shots every single shot. Pull that brush out of my back pocket, clean the club, go back down, go through like a bit of a process, a routine, visualize the shot just like I would in a tournament. Boom, hit the shot, clean again. After a while, like the brass bristles on the brush started poking me in my butt. So I was like, okay, I need to find something smaller that maybe is not gonna like poke me. Um, and it's just too bulky. I could feel it back there when I was like hitting shots. So I came across something very similar to the product that I came out with, Pocket Brush. Um, and it was just a smaller version. I started using it in my practice, kept it on me, and I was like, man, this is amazing. I started using it on course too, um, mainly because I found myself away from my golf bag all the time and I didn't have my brush with me. So, because my brush was attached to my golf bag. So, like, one example would be like, I would park my golf bag between the green and the next hole. And when I'd walk up to the green to hit my chip, I would bring my wedge and my putter. I walk up there and look at my club and it'd be dirty from a previous shot, and I would grab a tee from my pocket and start scraping out the individual grooves with the golf tee. And I was like, oh, the pocket brush is perfect for this situation. And then sometimes, like on a par three, you'll like if you're in a cart, you'll like park your cart and then you'll walk up to the tee and you'll bring like two or three clubs with you and those clubs might be dirty. And instead of having to walk back to my bag down at I'd have my pocket brush on me. It's like boom, quickly clean it. And then I found so many other scenarios, like if I was riding in a cart with someone, a lot of times like they'd drop me off at my ball. I'd grab a couple clubs out of my bag. They'd drive off to their ball and I'd just be stuck there without my bag. And I would be like, another perfect opportunity to use my pocket brush because I got three clubs on me and my bag's way over there with my driving partner, and I have no way to clean off my clubs. I don't have to use this golf tee anymore. I've got my pocket brush on me. And so I was like, man, this is a great idea. Like, I should build on this. And not only that, like, the one I got was like very generic. It was just like a blank white one. It didn't have like any feel or like there's no character to it. And I was like, so what you brought on about saying how like the brushes were neglected, that was one thing that I was like, there's no character to brushes. Like there should be something fun and appealing about a brush. And so then I was like, okay, so now we have something that's portable that I can bring with me anywhere for any situation, initially designed for practice, but now I can bring it on course for so many different scenarios. But now let's make it cool and like appealing to the average golfer. I felt like golf balls kind of went through that. Like there used to only be a white golf ball, and now you see people with like pink and blue and orange and like all these different color golf balls, and like everybody has their own style of what type of golf ball they want to play. And then I'm like, we should do the same thing with brushes. Like brushes should be cool and appealing. It should like connect with your character a little bit. So that was kind of where the whole thing kind of stemmed from. And then I think the biggest thing was like starting it. That was a big fear, right? Like, will people like just completely reject it and think it's stupid and then like condemn me for being like so dumb to think of something? And I'm like, oh man, like obviously all these things go through your head because like you know, I'm fairly well known in Vancouver as like a golf instructor. So like, I talk to other PGA guys all the time, and I picked a few people's brains about it, and had some people, give me some feedback. And yeah, I was like, you know what? Like the hardest part is starting. So I just went ahead. I did like a 3,000 unit order. Um, and I got them into, I just called like golf shops in the area that I live. So we got into 38 shops. It was just like I called these guys just because I had known them, these head pros at clubs. And I was like, hey, I'm starting this thing. It's called Pocket Brush. I'm wondering if you guys wouldn't mind taking a 30 unit order and just seeing how it goes in your shop. And if you don't sell any, like I'll just buy them back. Like no harm, nothing. Just let me try it. I just want to see how it does. And like we started it like kind of towards the end of golf season. So I gave it to the shops in it was like beginning of September in 2022. And by like mid-October, they were calling me. They were like, we're sold out. Like, we need another order. I'm like, okay, sweet. So then I placed another big order and I was like, okay, let's run with this next year. Let's go full on. Yeah.
Oh man. So, first of all, my golf balls have Minwoo Lee on them. I am one of those weirdos who likes little characters. So, if anybody out there in Minnesota finds a golf ball with Chef Woozy, that would be me. Uh,
Nice. That's cool.
Big fan of Minwoo Lee. He had his own golf ball with Callaway, so it's got his little like character on it. They're
Yeah.
sick. Um, but everything you said, I have been in that same situation. And I can't tell you how many times Derek has dropped me off at my ball been like, okay, take your clubs and whatever, and then he drives away, and then I look at my clubs, and my clubs are notoriously always dirty. That is like my thing is like they're just always dirty. Um, and then I look at him and I'm just like, shit. Like he's like gone at this point, so it's just like me, and I'm like, I don't have anything to do. So I pull out my tee and I'm scraping. Um, but you kind of hit it right in the head, right? It's like, once you're away from your bag, you're SOL, right? Like this is my brush. I think
Oh
it
yeah.
has a
Seen
little bit
those.
of character. We're not going to say who makes it because it's not about them. But like that's not a very long attachment, right? And there's no stretch. This is great for if I'm cleaning them at home, whatever, perfect done. I do have the version that is stretchy, but it's not like it stretches a mile.
Yeah.
You get like an extra foot out of it.
Yeah.
Um, but great product. Issue is I like to put things in my pocket. I'm one of those people. There's always a T in my pocket. There's always XYZ in my pockets. And it's a big reason why I transitioned like a golf watch is Derek's going to drive away with my rangefinder. Well, at least the watch will give me some sort of idea of where the hell I am.
Hmm.
Um, so when I saw the pocket brush, I'm like, it's almost like a no-brainer. Like I'm surprised nobody had thought of it until I saw, your page. Um, Man. Also, you hit on something really important, and I didn't want to interrupt you during it, but not enough people practice the way they play. You know what I mean? Like you were saying, or you and DJ were saying, I don't hit a dirty club practicing, so I would, or in
In a
in
tournament.
a
So why
tournament, so why would I
would
do it while practicing? Like it's one of those things where, you can practice a certain way, but if you're not gonna play that way, then what's the point?
Mhm.
Like I don't enjoy going to the range and hitting balls and practicing that way because it feels very like segmented. Um, or it feels like a very small part of my game is standing straight up and hitting balls.
Yeah.
I'm always in like the dirt or in the mud or I have to have a weird stance.
Yeah.
instead of paying $10 for a bucket of range balls, I'll go pay 15 and go walk 9 holes and get myself into some weird situations. Um, Even though I'll just play normally and then I'll end up in like somebody's backyard. Like that's like to me that's how I practice and that's how I prefer it. I don't know if that resonates to you being a PGA pro, but to me that makes a lot of sense. So using what you use on the course and practicing makes a whole lot of sense. So when you said that, it kind of was like a big light bulb moment to where I felt very like okay with me not using the range as practice or thinking that way. I don't know.
I'm the same way. Like that's how I grew up learning how to play was on the golf course. The course that I grew up at is called Ledgeview Golf Club in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And they had like a tiny range. Like it was like max 8 iron you could hit. And they had only like 8 stalls. Like it was tiny. And so when I was growing up, it was just like you go on the course if you want to learn how to play. You don't learn how to play on the driving range. Um, and and I think that was a blessing more than a curse because the golf course was very challenging um, in that you had to hit all your shots from different lies. You were never on a flat surface, which is never the case on the driving range. You're learning you almost never get a shot on the golf course that's from a perfectly flat lie like you get on the driving range. So that's how I learned how to play was on a very undulating golf course. And I think like two guys that are on the well, Adam just lost his card. So Adam Hadwin, who had his PGA Tour card, had a win on the PGA Tour. Um, he was from Ledgeview. I grew up with him. The other guy, Nick Taylor, he's won 5 times on the PGA Tour. He's also from Ledgeview. I feel like those guys got really good for that reason because like they spent less time on the range. They spent way more time on the course than they did on the driving range. And I think, yeah, I think there's a lot to be said about that.
I feel like the range is a great tool to fine tune things. Like, oh, something feels kind of weird in my swing or whatever. I feel like that's a great place to like try to work through it and everything. But I don't think it should be taken as like, oh, I practiced today and you just hit a bucket of range balls. Um, because just like you said, like how often do you stand up and you have a perfectly straight lie? Except, maybe if you're, at the tee box, so you get to do that, what, 18 times,
Right.
around. It's like congrats. Um, like none, like my shots are always all over the place. I always tell people I see more golf course than anybody else does because I'm always over somewhere in the woods.
You get
Um,
your money's worth.
I do 110%. And I've seen some beautiful courses and I've seen some parts of beautiful courses that my buddies have not seen.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, But on the flip side of that, I think, doing less range and, more, even just like an executive course, you're a little bit more creative when it comes to the golf course. And I feel like that's really important in golf too. Always looking at things and you could say, oh, I've hit this shot, XYZ. But now what happens if the shot's a little different? You could be like, oh, I could be creative with it or I kind of panic or whatever. I feel like that comes with how you like look at things in general, though. Like I'm a pretty creative person. If you haven't seen my absolute crazy wall of cameras, um,
For cameras, okay.
yeah, those are cameras. Yeah, there's a couple Leicas in there somewhere. Um, I totaled my car and bought a camera. That's kind of what happened with that. But um, I feel like the people that aren't creative are the people that take golf really seriously and then struggle when they don't find the results.
Yeah,
And then the people that are creative, I mean. I would argue Bubba is the most creative person I've ever seen pick up a golf club. You don't hit that shot out the pine straws without
mm,
having some element of, hey, this is either going to go really good or really bad, and then not caring about the result.
yeah,
And I feel like that comes with having kind of a creative mindset on the golf, but you're never going to hit that on the range.
yeah,
I,
totally.
unless you're a weirdo and you're hitting stuff like that on the range, but that
I think
seems like
it's
a
all
crazy shot to hit on the range. I mean, it's a crazy shot to hit on the golf course.
I think it's a harder shot to hit on the range because part of part of the thing is for hitting that shot is you need to be able to visualize how the ball is moving through the air. And on the range, there's nothing to really go around. Like you're hitting that shot because you're going around stuff. On the range, there's nothing to go around. So you're just kind of like imagining, oh, let's imagine there's a big tree in the middle of the range and I have to go around it. Like it's almost harder to do that than it is on the course. So yeah, I totally agree.
I was watching something with my dad. Oh, it was the last stretch of holes for the Masters on Sunday. Brooks had a shot, or not Brooks, I'm so sorry. For some reason I've had Brooks Koepka on my mind all day. Scotty Scheffler had the shot. I don't know why I got those two mixed up. But I'm like, he's in these trees and it was the one where he hit it and he just clipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just clipped it. I looked over at my dad. I'm like, you see that tree at the right? Dead straight in the middle. I'm hitting that tree. Like without a shadow of a doubt, I am smoking the shit out of that tree. And Scotty hits like if I hit that shot, I'd be thrilled. Obviously,
Yeah.
Scotty's not thrilled, you clip it, but um I really wanted to see him just like go way around the tree or
Right.
something.
Right.
I don't know why, but I looking at that and seeing the creativity, like there's something about it that just makes me a little bit more happy to play golf and not be very good at it.
Yeah.
Um, just not taking it as seriously. I don't know, but I love when people are creative and kind of see the course differently than just a big driving range that has endings, is how I think about it.
So the way I coach golf right now, I coach a lot of competitive juniors, and funnily enough, I coach out of an indoor facility right now. So it's like we're hitting in sims, but we do have a 3,000 square foot indoor putting green, which is very useful. And one of the things that I coach a lot of these kids on is like creativity. Like, it's hard to teach that in a sim,
Hmm.
but I go over to the our massive putting green, and I kind of coach it there. And one of the things that I tell them all the time is like, you have to practice your imagination just as much as you practice your golf game. As much as you practice your swing, you need to practice your imagination. Your imagination is a skill that you develop. It's not just there. It's not just there when you need it to access. So when we go over to the chipping green or to the putting green, I I ask them to imagine the shot that they're trying to hit before they hit it. And one of the analogies that I use is like, imagine I asked you to paint a picture of an elephant, and I asked you to do it 1,000 times. How good would the 1,000th elephant picture be compared to the first one? Well, they're like the 1,000th one's going to be way better because I've had 999 tries to get it right and to make it look really good. And I'm like, that's how I want you to think of your imagination. When you're practicing your chipping or your putting, like you're imagining every single shot before you hit it. The more you practice that skill of imagining the shot, the better that skill is going to be, so that when you go on the golf course, you're almost going to like create the shot before you even hit it. And it's going to be very easy, or not very easy, but much easier to replicate what you're imagining and put it into action when you're actually hitting the shot. So I think like creativity and imagination is like one of the most important things to learn, especially at a young age in golf.
I think especially with putting, like you were saying, putting is like the strong part of my game, and I struggle to explain what I see when I'm on the green. I just kind of see things and I'm like, yep, that's the line I want to take, and I just kind of do it. Um, I would say I'm very, um, what's the word? Not spontaneous, but like I'm just like I'm just gonna do it type person when it comes to golf. I'm not like that in any other sense of my life.
You're instinctive. You just,
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe. Um, I'm not like that in any part of my life. I like do research before I buy things. I'm that kind of person. Um, But on the green, I'm just like, I see it. That's line I want to take, and I'm just gonna do it. And a lot of times, it's so much different than everybody else's. Um, I saw a reel, and the guy is trying to do the aim point, which I don't know how to do or understand. And he goes, "What are you looking at?" And he goes, "The back of my hand." And like that, that's how I feel watching people like do the aim point and everything. Um, so whenever people ask me, I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. I just wanted to go up and then down.
Yeah.
And to me, I see it and I visualize it and I just try to do it. Normally if I'm in a scramble or whatever, I'm normally the putter because it's like I'll get it there. It just might not be the most straightforward way, but we'll get it in the hole.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like that's where your creativity has to really shine, right? Because I feel like the rest of your game can be very robotic, but on the green, because there's all sorts of undulations and everything, and the moment you hit a putt and it's like one of the big crazy ones that goes up and then down, you're just like, man, like that feels good.
Oh
And
yeah.
and then you watch all your buddies just hit it straight, and you're like, ah, see, that's one, it's not as cool, but two, it's like it's satisfying to go in the hole. But when you hit those weird ones that go up, down, left, right,
Yeah.
there's just like a sense of like that's like it feels like a PGA moment. Is kind of how I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I don't know. There's just something about it that you just can't. It's so hard to describe, but I feel like the way I look at the greens is kind of that way. Um, I can't even explain it to Derek, and I've been playing golf with Derek for years. I have no idea. It's just, yep, there it is. We're just gonna put it in the hole.
Yeah, well, I think you've practiced that imagination enough with putting that you're sort of almost like willing the ball into the hole from your strong imagination. You're seeing it go in. You know how it should go in based on what you see, and you can create that same result
It's
just
like that. It's like that scene in The Hangover when they're trying to count cards and Zach Galifianakis' brain is just numbers.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, that's me on the green, except
That's you. I
it's just
love it.
lines, just like yeah, that'll go in or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that correlates, but in my brain, it's just like, oh yeah, it's just that, guys. It's just that. Um, I try to be creative when I chip and stuff. I just want to flop shot everything currently,
Yeah.
and it either works really well or the ball goes like 400 yards dead straight because I bladed the shit out of it. So there's no in between. I've hit a couple really good ones that have gone in, and then I've almost killed one of my buddies because I hit a missile, and I was like, yeah, it's supposed to go 4 feet, and it went like 400 yards like straight at
Oh,
him. So I feel like I need a coach for that, but we're a little off track. As much as I enjoy learning about golf and what my game may or may not be, I do want to talk about the pocket brush.
yeah, let's see.
Um, and the main thing that kind of blew me away is all, like I said, this is my brush. You know, you got the nylon. I wasn't aware that brushes were using the metal bristles.
Oh,
I
okay.
that's that's new to me. And then I saw that I believe yours has both, correct? So like one side is the metal and then
That's
one side is the
the
nylon.
that's the brass. It's a brass
Brass.
side. Yeah, so it's brass because it's not as strong as the steel your golf club is made out of, which
Hmm.
means it won't scratch your golf club. That's what people tend to be worried about. So there's other brushes that have metal here that can scratch, but this is brass, so it's not going to scratch your club face. This is used for like drier conditions. So typically on like drier conditions, you'll have dirt that'll get kind of caked into your wedge or your club and into the grooves. And it's like a little bit harder to get that caked on dirt out. So you need something a little bit stronger, like the brass bristles, to get that caked on dirt out. But then the other side is the nylon side. It's a lot softer.
Hmm.
It'll still work on like it's firm enough to where it'll still work on like stuff that's more in like caked on, it's not as good as the brass side. This side is really good for wet conditions. So it's like a morning, you've got the morning dew, and you don't need to like grind off the dirt. You just need something to wipe it off. You've got some grass clippings on your club face, a little bit of moisture. Boom, you just like wipe it off with this side. So that's why we have both sides, is like one is for drier, one's for wet conditions, and just kind of good for both scenarios.
So I read that and I thought it was going to be 100% like switched around to where the brass would be better for the wet conditions. And my thinking was it's stiffer, you might dig in a little bit more, might be a little bit deeper. Um, so I was like kind of I learned something and I was like, oh, I never would have thought about that.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know. I've never seen a brass brush, so that might be just me not looking for them. But I've also like, oh, cool, I got a brush. I'm set for like until this thing dies, essentially.
yeah.
Um, so when I read it, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Um, are there any? This might be a dumb question, but when it comes to like the tour and anything like that, or professional golf, is there like a regulation for the brushes in terms of like material or like bristles or anything?
No, no, they can use anything that they want. And by the way, for your brush, like there's nothing wrong with the brushes that are attached to your bag. Like
Oh yeah, no, not at all.
brushes are great. Like people using brushes, I think pocket brush kind of should coexist with the brushes that are attached to people's golf bags, because sometimes you are near your golf bag. Sometimes it is nice to just have your brush on your bag attached there to just clean your golf club. But pocket brush is more for those times when you're not. For me, it's like it's just more convenient to have it in my pocket. And a lot of the time when I'm practicing, I'm not near my bag. All those other times I told you before, like playing with partners, going up to a tee box or whatever, a lot of those times I'm not near my bag. So I like to have the pocket brush on me. But you know, I see people with brushes on their bags all the time, and I'm like, it's not like I'm in a war or anything against them. I'm like, you need a brush. Like, I'm just happy people are like they have a brush, they're cleaning their clubs, they see the value in clean golf clubs because it does make a difference. It makes a significant difference in how your ball will fly. We did a TrackMan. We set up a TrackMan for one of our videos and did a test basically to see what the difference was between hitting golf balls with a dirty club face versus hitting balls with a clean club face. So the one with a dirty club face on a like a standard 90-yard wedge shot equated to, I think it was around 3,500 or 4,500 RPMs of spin, which is astronomical. It's crazy for a 90-yard wedge shot. It equates, like, for those that don't know what that means, it's basically you're hitting that wedge shot because it has a lower spin rate. The trajectory is going to be way higher with a dirty club face, and the ball is going to go way further, not only in air time, but when it lands, it's actually going to roll more. So as a coach, I get asked the question all the time, like, how do I get more spin? It's like, well, the easiest thing you can do is clean your club face before you hit a shot. And then also play a premium golf ball. That will also help, but clean your club face first. And um, so if you have a dirty club face and you're hitting a 90-yard wedge shot, this is just for 90-yard wedge shots. It's even more so if you're hitting like 120 or 130 yard, but 90-yard wedge shot, you're gaining an extra 3 to 4 yards of distance in the air, and then it's rolling another 3 or 4 yards compared to a clean club face. So that's crazy to me because uh, that's going to make a significant difference in the strokes you make in an entire round of golf. If you're planning to hit a 90-yard wedge shot and you hit it 98, um, compared to 90 yards, like now you're likely closer to making a par than you are a birdie. Um, or in like an amateur golfer's perspective, it's going to make the difference between par and bogey or bogey and double or whatever. But that adds up at the end of a round.
Yeah.
But to
And
answer your question, no, there's no regulation on what you can use in pro golf.
for those listening who might be newer to golf, that has to do with the club face not gripping the ball. You know, that's how I think about it, is it's almost like sandpaper in a way. Very
Mhm.
fine sandpaper. Like I have pretty aggressive wedges already. I have the SM9 Vokeys.
Nice.
Love those things. Love them. I have the weird oil can color thing. I, they're pretty. I don't think they're oil can. I can't remember what they are, but they're beautiful clubs.
Yeah.
But when you get the wedge, or not the wedge, the grooves all caked in, the ball doesn't scrape. That's how I think about it. There's probably a technical term. By no means am I a coach, but the ball doesn't scrape, so it doesn't get as much spin or rotation. So when the grooves are full of dirt, sand, grass, whatever, that ball, it's like hitting it with like a mini driver. Like that
Yeah.
ball just jumps off the face because there's nothing to grip onto. Um, that's why brushes are so important, and I wish I had known that earlier in life. Not that I think I'd be any better, but there are a lot of inconsistencies with my game that I'm like, oh, duh, it's because my clubs are disgusting. Um,
Yeah.
and then like I have a rusty 52 degree. Love it. I think it looks gorgeous. I don't know how much the rust plays into spin. Do you have a say in that? I've heard people say, no, it's just a looks thing. I've had some people say, oh, no, it absolutely will make the spin better or more consistent or whatever. Do you have a take on that being a professional? I
I
think,
don't know.
I just think it looks good.
Yeah, yeah, it might look good. For I don't know actually. I don't know what role Rust has. It might be good to do a little test and see on a TrackMan. Maybe somebody's already done it. I'd be curious to know if Rust has any effect on spin. I think what you're looking for was like friction, like how much friction is created
Yes.
when you hit a wedge shot or any type of shot with an iron. Um, I wonder if rust would add more friction. Uh, I don't know.
I think that's the thought behind it. And then I've had other people's like online be like, oh no, it's just, you just gotta keep your grooves clean or whatever, which I'm like, that's fair, but like I think this club looks pretty freaking cool.
Yeah,
The issue is I got tired of waiting for it to rust, so I rusted it myself.
yeah,
So it's a little dirty.
yeah.
Um, but beautiful club. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I love it. Canadian company nonetheless. I figured out you were from up north by the way you said bag, and I was like, ah, there we go.
How did I say bag?
You say bag like I say bag.
How are you supposed to say bag?
I don't know. I've always said bag, and everyone's like, no, Dom, it's bag. I'm like, no, it's bag.
Bag. Like you have to elongate the A.
I guess so. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I also say toque instead of hat, so I don't know.
You, my man. I
I've
love
said
it.
toque, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
No, my dad's from up north in Minnesota, so he's like, oh no, it's a toque, and I'm like, it's a toque. So I was telling you
What it
before,
called?
I worked for a Canadian company, so when they would come and visit me, they'd be like, oh, where are all your toques? I'm like, oh, they're in the back for the winter or for the summer. And they're like, wait, you know what we're talking about? I'm like, yeah, it's like a winter hat, like a stocking cap, and they go, no shit. I'm like, yeah, it's a toque, yeah.
Love it.
Eh,
Yeah, I lived down in Dallas, Texas for 5 years. I went to school down there and they didn't know what I was talking about when I said toque. They were like, toque? You mean your beanie? I was like, is that what it's called? I don't know.
I don't know. I've always called it a toque. Like, oh, we got my toque. Or
Yeah.
one of my buddies sent my dad a hat, and it's a golf branded hat. And my dad does not play golf. He doesn't know anything about golf other than I play golf. And he's out snow blowing. He's got this golf hat on. And I sent it to my buddy, and he goes, "Damn, look at your dad in that beanie." And I'm like, "Oh no, it's his toque." I could hear my dad being like, "No, it's a toque."
Yeah.
Um, but there's little similarities between the northern states and Canada.
Canada, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. They would always come from like Edmonton or Toronto, and Toronto feels like a whole nother animal. Um, with the crazy accents that may or may not be real. I don't know. I've seen some crazy stuff out of Toronto.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some different folks depending on where you go in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah, no, I've never been there. I want to go. But we talked about the brush. You also make that towel, which for some reason it is not pulling up currently on the website. Oh, it's because I clicked on brushes and not towel. Crazy
Mm,
how that works. I've started like I like having like the picture above me so I can look at it. Um, but I've seen magnetic towels. I have a handful, and I don't really use them because again, it stays clipped to my bag.
mhm,
Although it does make sense after having this conversation that I should probably try one out, see if I like it a little bit more. Because I realize that my clubs are always wet too, and I
mm,
don't play in the morning. It's just I'm always in the water. Um, so yeah, maybe that would help.
yeah.
Because I think Phil was saying that if you have a damp club, there's water that gets in between the ball and it affects the distance and the spin and everything. Um, Phil basically taught me how to chip via YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Phil.
Hinge and
Uh,
hold.
huh?
The hinge and hold.
Oh, dude. Phil is one of those dudes that I wish got more love on the
Yeah.
tour. Um, and I'm upset he doesn't. I understand that he went to live and everything. I get it, but to me, he's one of the all-time greats to ever play on the PGA Tour. And for some reason, people don't appreciate Phil and his glorious calves. I I don't understand the lost in
No, I think
translation.
yeah, I think he has I think he has his followers. I think there's people that like Phil.
I'm a
I,
big
I
fan
wouldn't
of Phil.
say I wouldn't say people don't like Phil. I think people don't like I think majority of golf fans don't like Live. Sad to say, but I think and I think they connect him to Phil
Hmm.
connect Phil to that, and maybe that's maybe why he doesn't have as many followers or fans as maybe he used to. But I think like he's a legend of the game. Phil is like the one of he's like the Bubba of short game, I would
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Right? Like he's the guy that hit it all over the map and still managed to win how many like 45 times. I don't know how many PJ Tour wins he has, like in the 40s. Won multiple major championships with less than average golf swing, in my opinion. Like
Hmm.
not a great ball striker, but a phenomenal short game artist specialist. Yeah.
Yeah, no, big fan of Phil. You said you played with Sahith. I'm a big fan of Sahith. I've followed him a couple times when he's come around, and I think he's great. I've been saying it all year. I'm gonna say it till I'm blue in the face. Huge fan of Akshay. I think Akshay is gonna be kind of the big breakout story of golf this year, hopefully. I followed him last year at the 3M Open, took a bunch of pictures of him because we had media passes, so I could bring my camera. Um, and I think the trainer dude he was talking to, I think got a little annoyed by me taking a bunch of pictures, but like, dude, it's Akshay. I'm a big fan of Akshay, so I think he's gonna be one of those breakout guys. Uh, and he's one of those guys that I don't think he's good at one thing. I think he's good at everything. Like Phil, I'd be like, damn, his short game is like the thing I want to copy. Obviously, like Tiger and his drive, Bubba has his creativity. He's kind of like a Dustin Johnson, where Dustin Johnson just kind of like an athletic freak, like freak of nature. Like I don't understand how he only plays golf with his build and everything. Um, I don't know. I,
Dustin Johnson, fun fact about Dustin Johnson. I would argue he's probably the fastest walker on tour. If it's crazy. If you ever go and watch Dustin Johnson, just try and keep up with him as he's walking towards his ball. Like he tees off, start where he tees off, walk with him to his ball. It will feel like you are in a in a run state. to try and keep up with him. It is impressive how fast that man walks, and it
I,
doesn't seem like it.
I've always heard he's super athletic. I've
Yeah.
never heard that he's a fast walker, mainly because whenever he's played in the 3M Open, he's always gotten cut super early or he falls down the stairs. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
hilarious.
now that he's on Live, they don't play those events other than like the majors, which is fine. I don't know. The whole Live conversation is a whole different conversation. I think it's good for golf because one, it creates ways for other people to watch golf and people to be excited about it, and two, it made the PGA go, damn, these guys should probably win a little bit more money.
Yeah.
And nobody's been
Definitely
complaining
different.
about that. So like whether you love it or not, they did a couple things to really impact the game in a positive way. Um, but I wanted to talk about your towel before my brain gets way off. Um, so it's a pretty big microfiber towel, but you also get the corner of it with the brush.
Yeah.
So after hearing you talk about your idea for the pocket brush and why you made the pocket brush, am I safe to assume that you put it on a towel for the same reason, is because you wanted to like keep your club dry and clean away from your bag and you could just like scoop it up with the club like I watch everybody else do with their cool magnets?
Yeah, I mean, the towel came up after we came out with Pocket Brush. We had already been doing Pocket Brush for a couple years, and then we had this idea for the golf towel. So, like for me as a player, I've noticed like golf towels have gotten like it's almost like thinner and like a material that dries quickly. I don't know
Mhm.
if you've had that experience, but like I don't know what material it is, but all towels like they dry way too fast. It's like they're made of this thin microfiber material that just like has a super fast drying capability.
Yeah, it's
And
like
so
it's like, like a glasses cloth.
yeah, so I'm like, so I've been playing golf my whole life. I'm like, why would I want a towel to dry fast if I'm playing golf? Like I want a towel to stay wet because I want to be able to wipe off my club face with a wet towel. I don't want to have to keep, getting it wet so that I can wipe off the club face. So that was one of the first things that I thought of with the towel was like I need something that's like highly absorbent, that's just going to retain water and keep water. So it's made of this like waffle material that just like soaks up water and it stays there. So our towel will stay wet for almost your entire round. Like it's pretty close. Like you could stretch all the way to the end, like a whole 18 hole round where it'll stay wet. And then the problem I thought of with conventional towels was that when you clean your club with a towel, you only clean the face of the golf club. The towel doesn't actually get into the grooves of your golf club, it just gets the face. So your grooves are still dirty. So what a lot of people do is like they'll wipe the face with the towel. Then they'll go to the brush that's attached to their golf bag, scrape off the dirt that's in the grooves, and then go back to the wet part of their towel and wipe it again. So it's like three-step process. I'm like, man, like I feel like we could cut a couple of those steps out with a brush towel, and yeah, we try to figure out a way to include a brush onto the towel to just make it easy where you have everything all in one. You can clean the grooves of the club face and the face all with the same product, and it's all right there. So that was kind of the thinking behind that.
So it wasn't until semi recently that I had discovered that people wanted a wet towel. I don't know why this didn't dawn on me in all my years on this earth. Um, but I was playing, I only use one towel. It's from Los Calferos. It's a serape towel, so it's made of like the Mexican blanket poncho material.
Okay.
Beautiful towels. Shout out Ralph and Raul. I feel like I have to shout them out even though they're like my boys. Um, but I was playing golf with them and they live in California, so they're nowhere near me. Um, but they flew into Minnesota for an event that we had put on, and I'm like, hey, why do you have two towels on your bag? And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. My brain hurts. Um, and they're like, well, one's a dry towel, one's a wet towel. And I'm like, oh, why do you have a wet towel? And they go, well, you just gotta get all that dust and dirt off, and you scrape and you wipe it again. Um, so it didn't correlate or click with me. So then when you were saying that you can have one towel that kind of does everything, does the scrape, does the wiping, keep it wet all around. I was already interested in the fact that it had the built-in brush because if you're at your bag already, you might as well do both.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm weird and don't like a ton of things clipped onto my bag. It gives me a little bit of anxiety when people have their golf bags out and there's like a billion things clipped onto it. I don't know. It gives me just a little.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't like it personally. So there's not too much stuff on my bag, but you could almost like eliminate a brush with this. Have everything you need just on the towel, which I think is really cool and kind of ingenious in a way that is almost stupid. But you're like, cool, you can have your brush, your towel either clipped on your golf bag or since it's magnetic, you can just have it sit next to you in the cart, or stick it somewhere or whatever. Honestly, it might be the coolest little golf invention I've ever seen.
that's awesome. Appreciate that.
And that's coming from me with one, two, three, four, five, six magnetic speakers. And I thought those were cool. I think this thing's pretty cool because it's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Honestly, I just saw problems with like the stuff that we have. I don't know. I'm sure other people see this stuff and see like, oh, that's a problem. But maybe I guess my brain goes into like creative mode and I'm like, I wonder how that could be better. And so I look at everything and I'm like, I wonder how that could be better. And yeah, so that's kind of how the towel thing came apart. But I appreciate you saying that. That's cool. I'll send you one.
Okay,
Send me and I'll send you some brushes. I'll send you a towel.
I'm gonna be set forever. Um, I'm gonna catch some flack for saying I don't like too many things on my bag, mainly because one of my buddies has like everything in the world clipped onto his bag, and it drives me a little crazy. And I don't know, to me it feels very cluttered and like not organized. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
So when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's like everything all in one. You don't have to carry a brush with you if you don't want to. You don't have to do XYZ. And I like that it has the two different ways to put it on your bag with like the slit in the middle, or like you could put a carabiner on the loop and clip it if you wanted to. Or if you're a freak like me, you could just magnetize it to the golf cart and have it like flap in the wind. Like that'd be pretty cool. Be like a sail.
yeah. We have like we one of our things is we want to put the magnet on it. We didn't put it on in our initial product with the magnet. We just did it with the hook or the
Mhm.
you could put the carabiner on. Um, but maybe the magnet will come on in our 2.0 model.
There you go. You can have that idea for free. I won't charge you. No, I think it's super cool. I'm a big fan of people like you who see the problem and be like, okay, how can we how can we fix this? And not necessarily fix it, but like how can we find a way to just make it a little bit easier? Um, I'm sitting here, I've got six magnetic speakers. I lose these things all the time. Everyone's like, why do you have so many? I have a pink one now. I'm not losing this thing anywhere. And again, somebody had to sit down and be like, how is somebody like Dom not gonna lose this thing? You make it magnetic and you make it bright pink.
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
So I'm set. And obviously I'm set for life, even though I lose these things all the time. Somebody out there has some really nice speakers and they're from me.
Yeah.
So shout out Pinned for keeping me stocked up, even though I paid for most of these other than one.
I'll be
Um,
sure to send you a bright pink pocket brush then, knowing that about you.
so my bag is actually black and pink, and it's like not like a little like oh it's barely pink. No, it's like a neon pink.
Yep. We got
So
that pocket brush. We got a bright pink, neon pink.
I'm a big fan of pink. I like purple too. Like my two favorite colors are pink and purple. Um, so big fan. I'm not afraid to shy away from colors. I think that comes from Bubba and his pink driver back in the day. I really wanted one so badly. Like I've never hit a ping club, but damn, if there's a pink one, I'd be like, oh, I just want it.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing.
That's why
Um,
we call our we have names for our pocket brushes. So like the pink one, we call it Fearless Pink. Gotta,
Fearless Pink.
gotta be fearless to have that pink one, man.
Are they really named?
They're named, yeah. Uh, yeah, they're named.
What
They're named.
the?
Hold on. It might not be on our website, but on our Instagram, yeah, you'll find
Oh, okay.
all the names of all the brushes.
Yeah, that pink one almost matches my bag.
It's coming. That's the one.
No, my bag is black and pink. I love it. Nobody's ever mistaking it for their bag because no one else is gonna use my bag. But um, okay, so you're on the Pocket Brush 2.0. Is there a 3.0 kind of in the works in your brain? I don't know what else you could add to it other than like maybe fine tuning it, but is that something you're thinking about doing as a 3.0?
Honestly, I have ideas for like a 6.0. Like I feel like I'm way ahead of myself in the point O's because uh yeah, there's things that I want to do to the product that I think are going to make it better, but ultimately it comes down to like we need to sell the product. We need to get the product into shops. We need to get it into pockets. And if we can do that, like we can keep growing the product and add more cool things to it. But I'll share some of the ideas that I have. So like um, some people might not necessarily like the brush in their pocket.
Hmm.
So we want to make it so that there's the ability to either have it in your pocket or also on your bag or on the side of your pocket. So what I mean by that is like we have the capacity to add a magnet to the inner part of the brush. So inside the brush, there will be a strong magnet that you can then magnetize to the side of your bag. Or you can have a clip on the side of your belt where you can stick it onto the side of your belt and have it just kind of clip on. Um, so that's kind of one of the big things that I want to do. And then there's another, so we like to do like a premium version of Pocket Brush. Right now it's a plastic material. We'd like to have like an aluminum high-end material. That one's probably not going to retail for $8.99 like all our other brushes. But I think people would like a customized like premium brush where you can, you still have that same outer shell, but you can actually replace the bristles every once in a while if you feel like they're kind of getting dull over time. Typically, like a brush, like one pocket brush, will last like a couple seasons. Um, but if you're playing a lot of golf and you're using it a lot, obviously it's going to wear out sooner. But so it'd be nice for someone like if they bought like a premium high-end brush with like a custom engraving on it to be able to at least change out the bristles if they got worn down after a while. So those are kind of some of the ideas that I'm playing around with and still need to find the right people to help me build, but that's kind of the direction I'd like to go. I also think like I think some companies we started doing some like corporate branding on brushes. So this part on the back of the brush, so this I call this the front. That's like where the slider is. So you push that up or down depending on where you want it. But then this is the back. That's where like our logo goes, the Pocket Brush logo. But then um, we have um, we have some pocket brushes that don't have our logo on the back and we use that space to do custom logoing. And so we started doing a bunch of that over the last couple of years. So we get a lot of brands reaching out. We had a cool one. It didn't end up working out, but we had some cool stuff going on with TGL for a while. They were looking at some custom brushes with us, and I was like, "Oh, this is going to be sweet if TGL brings on some custom brushes." Who knows? It might still work out. I just haven't moved forward with that yet, but so ultimately, like having a high-end premium brush with some bigger companies, I feel like that might appeal to them a little bit more than just our standard plastic one. The plastic one is nice because it's light
Mhm.
and small. You don't feel it in your pocket. Um, like the aluminum one will probably be a little bit heavier, but it'll be a lot nicer.
So I wish I had found you sooner because like that'd be sweet for like we used to host events or like little tournaments and like for the swag bag the Sapar branded on the back of that thing would be super cool. That's why I have so many speakers. We did like custom branded speakers and everything for the last event. You know, we literally went out with the bangs. We're like, fuck it, why not? Um, but my idea for the pocket brush is if you're gonna make a premium one, um, I'm not like a super knife person. Like I'm not one of those people, but I do have like an everyday carry from Benchmade. So you can do like these G10 scales. It's got a nice grip material, but it's like a polycarbonate. So it's still lightweight, it's a little bit more affordable. But I'm a big fan of pocket clips. So like even just like a little one, if you could squeeze that onto like the 6.0 or the 10.0,
Yeah.
money. So that was kind of like when you were describing everything, I'm like, oh, like the polycarbonate might be nice, and then like the pocket clip, I think I'm a big fan of. Um, I literally won't buy like I won't buy a multi-tool if it doesn't have a pocket clip. And
Okay.
I don't know, I'm one of those people. I just like to know it's like attached in my pocket because I guess for me, I know it's there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, I have a camera tool and it's the same way. It's got a pocket clip and it just clips for maybe it's a security thing. Like I don't know, but I guess something like this, nice textured. It's light, it's thin. I mean, it's not super thick by any means, but just 8.0 idea. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that. I'll definitely play around with it. That's good.
Yeah, you can have that idea for free too.
Nice. I'm getting a lot of value out of this today.
Well, I mean, yeah, expensive knife, but like, if you could just polycarbonate, I don't, it's lightweight, lasts a while.
Yeah.
I've got all sorts of ideas. Oh, excuse me.
What's so you said you're into the pink pocket brush.
Yeah.
That would be your number one, hey?
Yeah, I like the pink. Um, I can't. There's that dark green one with yellow. I can't do it.
Dark green one with yellow. That's the Masters one.
Can't
This
do
one,
it. I can't do the green and yellow.
oh man, that's our Masters pocket brush.
Listen, I can't endorse anything green and yellow because I hate the Packers. Um, Everyone's gonna
Fair.
be like, "Dom, you're a Vikings fan." No, there's a Niners banner right there. I hate I hate the Cowboys and I hate the Packers.
Okay.
Can't do it. Um, I'm weird and like things matching. So my bag being black and pink, my clubs actually have custom ferrules on them. So there's a pink strip on them.
Okay.
I'm one of those people who like to match. My whole bag looks kind of weird, but even like I had that rusty 52 I ordered. I had it kind of custom made. That has a pink ferrule on it too, so it all matches. Everything in my bag has a pink ferrule that can, other than like my driver and like 3 wood. I wish my driving iron had one, but I didn't get them in time,
Oh,
so I don't really want to do all that.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm not the one doing it, but I don't like my clubs being taken apart too many times. I don't know, it freaks me out to see them
Yeah.
not put together, but um, funny enough, another Canadian company made my two iron in my 52 degrees. So, shout out Haywood. They're out of Canada. I can't remember where in Canada, but
Haywood, yeah, I think they're from BC. I'm pretty sure they're out of yeah, I think they're from British Columbia.
yeah, it's
Shout
been
out to
a
Canada on this podcast. Holy.
yeah, no, we've had Haywood's from Canada. We had Brandon with New Nine. I think he's from Calgary or Edmonton. I know he's a Calgary fan, which seems kind of rough. I don't know.
Does, yeah.
I don't know. Poor
Hard.
Flames.
Got to be a
I don't
diehard.
know. But yeah, we're pretty intertwined with Canada.
Love it.
I love it. Um, so to wrap things up, we always do. I have a couple rapid fire questions for you, and I think they'd be interesting now knowing that you're a professional and not someone like me. Even though I somehow have a 12 handicap, I don't understand how that works. I feel like it's lying to me. Um, or I'm lying. I don't know. I have no reason to fake a golf score though, because who am I impressing? Other men? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Um, so that'll be interesting. And then we're always going to end on a food related question, but these are rapid, so you don't have to answer right away, but don't take forever.
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite one recently to ask people is if you can play 18 holes with only one club, what would it be? And
Lob wedge.
we're gonna exclude the 7 iron.
Lob wedge. I
Lob
think
wedge.
I think I could shoot. I think I could shoot under 75 with a lob wedge. Because I would blade all my tee shots on par fours and par fives. And I think if I blade a wedge, like I'm accurate enough where I could blade a wedge probably 170 to 180 yards. I'm sure I'd catch a few where that might even go to 200. And then I could hit all my wedge shots. I can play something in the back of my stance from 120 yards and just like hammer the lob wedge. And then I can hit all my chip shots and I can blade a putt. And I think I can shoot under 75. I
So
think.
I said the same thing last week and the week prior. I would use like my 60 degree for the same reason. That 60 degree is either going 4 yards if I hit it well, or it's going like 400 yards if I blade it real bad. You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, "Oh, I can use an iron." It's like that's cool, but it's not as fun to use
Yeah,
a wedge.
that question.
I'm
Yeah.
not claiming I'll shoot well because I've only I mean I lately it's been like in the 80s. I'm not breaking 80 with a wedge. I don't think I'll hit 80 with a wedge. But boy, if I would not have the time of my life sitting out there swinging around a 60 degree for 18 holes and only 18 holes or only a 60 degree, I might go fuck around and do it this summer. Who knows?
I might too. Yeah, you've inspired me.
I might make a video on it. Who knows? Maybe I'll do 3 holes with a 60 degree only, and then with my luck, I'll tee it up and I'll just go straight up and down. I'll be like, great.
You should come to Canada. We'll play around, just lob wedges only.
Actually, you know what we could do? Um, I did some stuff for Bomb Tech and super cool company, great people over at Bomb Tech, but they sent me a 72 degree wedge.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen those.
It's crazy in person. It's scary.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So maybe that's the video. We just do a 72 degree wedge.
Oh man. Yeah, I've never hit anything like that before.
You put it down on the ground and it looks like this. Like it's just open. And you're like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I think Phil used to have a 64-degree wedge, didn't he? For a while.
It sounds right, because didn't he bend it?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that was a while back, but I remember him used to have a 64-degree wedge, which is crazy. And that seems like a lot. 72 is just ridiculous.
You get 8 more of those degrees in there, and it's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's scary. It's not in my bag, but it's a fun little thing to like, oh, hey guys, look at this thing.
Did you ever see those spin? Have you ever seen a spin doctor wedge? Have you heard of that?
I think so. Are they the ones with like the super aggressive, like crazy grooves?
Yeah, they're like they're like illegal
Hmm.
wedges. but they have these like massive grooves on them, and they're just fun for like you just take them out and you hit these wedge shots around the green that you hit like a 30-yard wedge shot and your ball spins back 20 yards. Like it's crazy.
It'd be fun to just mess around with those executive course, just goofing around. That's what I did. I did like a play around with me with Bomb Tech clubs and really good clubs. I was like happily surprised. And the 72 degree, I took like 7 shots to go 10 yards. Like it's just like the crazy, like you look down at it. I normally, the way I play golf is I grab a club. I'm like, yeah, that feels right. Not really caring what distance or anything. I'm just like, yeah, 8 iron, sure, we'll hit it. Um, I put that thing down and I second guess myself every single time. I'm like, this club is ridiculous. And it's like the lava pink, uh, like coloring on it. It's the most ridiculous looking thing ever.
Crazy.
I love it.
Love to see it.
I'll have to find it. It's in, I have like 7 bags. It's in one of them.
Hmm. Yeah. Be interesting to look down at one of those.
It's scary. Um, so my second question, um, shit. Of all the courses you've played, it could be Canada, it could be US, it could be wherever, it could be just a little place. What is your favorite one?
Hmm. Um, it's hard. Yeah, there's I played some good golf courses. I don't know. I think I'll give you a few that are up there for me. So there's a course out of Kamloops, British Columbia. That's probably up there, one of my favorites. It's called Tobiano. It was ranked #1 in Canada a few years back. I think it's up there again, like top 10 this year. Tobiano, great golf course. It's like a desert canyon golf course. Like imagine like when you played Tiger Woods PGA Tour back in the day, and you get these like crazy, like made up golf courses that, wish existed. Like this is one of them. This is
Okay.
like, it shouldn't exist. It shouldn't be real, but it is. It's really, really cool. Um, Another golf, Southern Hills in Tulsa was pretty sweet. Awesome golf course. They play the U.S. Open there and PGA Championship, I think. Yeah, I think Justin Thomas won the PGA Championship there. And then I played. There's this course in Toronto, London. It's London, Ontario, called Redtail, which is pretty sweet. Like it's cool because it's like there's like tee boxes and stuff out there, but there's nothing. Uh, it's so minimal. Like you won't see, like you almost don't know where you're going in the sense that there's no signage. Like it just feels like a a big field,
Hmm.
and it's like pristine, like perfect. And then you're just like walking around, you're almost trying to figure out where to go. Because there's just like it's so minimal in like signage and like T markers and all this stuff. So that place is cool. So those would probably be up there, my
Ugh.
top.
My guest last week was is from Tulsa, so I'm a little upset that he didn't mention that golf course because
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to shoot. Well, in his defense, I don't think he's played it. So the question is golf courses you've played. So that might be part of it. But I'm like, I've never been to Oklahoma. And now the last few people I've had on are like, oh yeah, Oklahoma's great. And I'm like, the hell's in Oklahoma?
Oh, another
Like,
one I didn't mention, Southern Highlands in Las Vegas.
that
Pretty
one
sweet.
I've heard of. I've heard that one's like phenomenal.
Yeah. That place was crazy cool.
I feel
I
like Vegas golf doesn't make sense because it's always a desert and then the golf courses are just bright green and there's grass. To me, it's such a weird like
contradict.
contrast between the sceneries. Like, you're sweating your ass off in this desert and then you're kind of playing on like an oasis from like a movie.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. No, and it's cool. Like I mentioned, prior, I used to work for a Canadian-based company. So you saying like London, Ontario, I'm like, oh, I know where that is. And there's like these little things that have like come up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. So, kind of a cool little callback for me. I'll have to shoot somebody a text at that company, be like, hey, I remember London, Ontario, and there's a store there, and blah blah blah. Um, but the last one that's golf related, and it's like my favorite question because it's been so different every time. But hole one, big event. What's your walk-up song?
Oh, walk-up song.
Yeah. We did walk-up songs at our last event and everybody loved them, so I love to ask the question.
Uh,
It's tricky because it can either be one to like really mellow you out or it can be one that like really amps you up.
no, it's not gonna be a mellow one. It'll be more like
I want to be
maybe
pumped up.
Eye of the Tiger or something.
Hell yeah.
Eye of the Tiger, maybe. I don't know. I can't think of songs right now. I don't know.
So
I'm
I
gonna go with
went
Eye of the Tiger. Yeah.
I went to the Twins game on Saturday
Yeah.
and Luke Keeschel is our second baseman. His walk-up song is the Rocky theme song.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I'm
the
like
one.
I'm like
That's
that's
whatever
sick.
song that is. I'm into that one.
That one or like the 90s Chicago Bulls when they were announcing like who's playing. Um that one is like iconic. I think those two are perfect, but Luke Keeschel walks up to bat and I'm like, why are we playing the Rocky theme? And then it happened again. I'm like, that's his walk-up song is the Rocky theme. And I'm like, that's genius.
You know what? You know what? I got I started playing around with some AI tools and like AI is getting crazy good with music
Hmm.
and you can basically prompt it to make any song you want about anything that you want. You can get it to write the script and make you like a cool song and it actually sounds like phenomenal. And I got it to make me like a Pocket Brush song that I haven't like released or posted anywhere. But I'm like, oh my God, this song is sick. Like I
That's your
gotta
walk-up song. That's
that's
your
my
walk-up.
walk-up
It's
song is the Pocket
the unreleased Pocket Brush song.
unreleased Pocket Brush song. That's my song.
There you go. It's like sitting on a grail.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Final question. This one is like 100% my favorite one. Um, I visit you in Canada and BC. Where are we going for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Um, okay. I mean, I feel like we gotta do the classic Tim Hortons for breakfast.
Okay, we're doing the donut holes.
We're doing the donut holes. We're getting coffee. Um, and we'll grab a quick breakfast sandwich. I mean, it's not the greatest. It's not going to be really good, but it'll feel like you're in Canada. So that's a good start. Burgers for lunch.
Oh, there we go.
We're doing smash burgers, I think, with tater tots for lunch.
Ooh,
Um, and we're not doing like the high grade cheese. Like we're doing real smash burgers with like the Kraft singles cheese.
yeah.
It's how I like my smash burgers.
The super processed, melty.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing for lunch. For dinner, we're going to a steakhouse. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now. We're going to steakhouse for ribeyes. That's what we're doing for dinner.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing like a poutine appetizer just to be super Canadian.
I guess we should. Yeah.
I
Poutine
mean,
appetizer.
if we're doing Tim Hortons, might as well, right? Lean into it.
Poutine appetizer will probably be outside the steakhouse as like a food truck before,
Ooh.
but then walk in and get the ribeyes. That's my ribeyes, my go-to meal. It's yeah, unbeatable.
I mean, it sounds like a great day to me.
I love Ruth's Chris. We don't have a Ruth's Chris up here. but that place is like phenomenal to me.
I don't think there are any near me.
Yeah.
Um, Whenever I go on work trips, we don't really have like a per diem. It just has to be acceptably priced meal. So
Right.
really it's like if you look at the check and you go, "Oh, you can't expense it." Um,
Fair
and
enough.
someone's like, "We should go to Ruth's Chris." And I'm like, I don't think like I'm like I don't think that's what they would intend us to do. And I'm willing to bet if we went to Ruth's Chris and we expensed it, they would change the meal policy almost the next day. And I
Totally.
don't want to be the one to take our glorious no per diem away.
Yeah. 100%.
So we
It's
did
fair.
not go to Ruth's Chris. We went to like a local place on the water and had fish.
It's all right too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it was pretty good. I had a burger, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm a big burger guy. Um, I wish we had some good pizza places up where I live, but I don't know. I'm a big New York style for pizza. Like, I love the New York style pizza, like big slices. I don't know if you follow Dave Portnoy and you see like all his pizza reviews, but I'm into that style. My wife and I want to go to New York because there's a big pizza festival in September where you can test out like all the best pizza places in New York, and they're all there at this festival. That would be my go-to trip for the year would be to do that.
They'd have
And
to wheel you out of there.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Oh, adding that to the bucket list. I'll have to look that up. That sounds great. I've never been to New York. I've wanted to go.
Yeah, I haven't gone either, so it'd be fun.
Oh, damn it. Luke, you've been great. Thank you for coming on. Um, I am now hungry
Yeah.
and really want a bright pink brush to match my bright pink bag. Um, Thank you so much for coming on. I had a ton of fun learning about the brushes, and hopefully, people listening go, "Hey, brushes are important." Um, because I think people neglect their golf clubs way too much, and a happy golf club generally leads to better scores.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. And yeah, send me your address. I'll send you some pink pocket brushes.
Send me a few. I have some friends who are starting to get in to golf, and they're women, so it'd be kind of fun to be like, "Hey, I got you a bright pink."
Really?
Glove or not glove, brush. So
Okay.
if you're gonna send one, send a few. Not to be greedy, I'm not the type of person, but I think it would be kind of fun to
Yeah, I'll send you.
share.
Yeah. Appreciate the time, man. Thanks, Don.
Absolutely.
Meet you. And if you're ever out this way, let me know. Let's play some golf.
I have a passport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
And here in the States, I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but we have um what we call an enhanced driver's license.
Hmm.
So I can get in and out of Canada, Mexico without a passport.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Why don't we have that? We should have that.
I don't know. But I have to renew it on Friday, so I'm not super excited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I might have to run away to Canada after.
Yeah, so that you don't have to renew it. Yeah.
Well, technically, so there's a 45-day window, and you can do it before your birthday or after your birthday. I'm doing it before my birthday. So technically, I don't even have to renew it on Friday.
Okay.
But I took the day off to do it.
I see.
So I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I might end up in Canada, is what I'm saying. Or Mexico,
Yeah. Hey,
depending if I get lost or not.
let me know. I'm down for some golf
Um,
anytime.
we'll have to get Haywood out there as well. We can bug everybody.
Pretty sure they're out here. Look them up. I'm pretty sure they're in British Columbia. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure. I want to say they're in Victoria, which is we have like
That
it's
sounds
called
right.
Vancouver Island. It's just like a short ferry ride from Vancouver, BC to Vancouver Island. I'm pretty sure Haywood's on Vancouver Island, but I don't know.
Well, I'll have to check. But I gotta go eat, and it's late. So
Good
thank you
chatting
again
with
for joining me. I had a ton of fun. It's a super cool product, and I hope the people listening also agree with me and pick up one. It's 8.99. I can't think of anything that's a better value in golf.
you. You're practically losing money not having a pocket brush. All right, man.